I may have already talked about this topic in a past video, but it is something that came back to me, and the idea is still one that I want to share with you on this channel, and even if I repeat myself, it doesn't really matter. The main idea that I want to bring up today is basically saying that you cannot hide behind other people's projects. And this may just be one of my issues that I struggled with over the years, but I think that many other people might have a similar situation going on. The explanation of what I mean by you cannot really hide behind other people is basically this. Over the years, I tried many times over to start something, to build a business, to build an idea. And one of those big ideas, for example, was called Baking Process. Now, Baking Process is no longer. It's been archived as a project, but it was one of those ideas that I built with someone else together, and they stood in front of the camera. And this project specifically is not necessarily a single case. I had that multiple times over the course of the past 10, 15 years, where I actually built something with other people together. I built an idea that maybe fit into their lifestyle better or into their business already. And I thought, this is a great idea. This is really something where we have a lot of potential. We can really make something out of this. However, one of the biggest struggles that came out of that situation was over and over again that I had either more motivation, that I had the belief that I can do it better than what they are doing, and so that when I bring all my skills together with theirs, that together we could actually bring a vision to life which mostly was in my brain. And that's exactly one of the biggest struggles in that, and one of the biggest problems around this issue is that it was my vision. It wasn't necessarily the vision of the other person, and at some point, if I remember back, it almost feels like I actually put my vision into their head, and I kind of bulldozed over what they might want to do for their own truths. And a lot of these projects were actually built. There was time invested, there was money invested, and it was mostly a fun ride with all of the projects that I have done over the years. But at the end of the day, I noticed one thing over and over again. And that is that I am trying to impose a vision onto someone else, where in the same moment, I feel like I can do certain aspects or the whole thing better, or at least in my own way better. And that came to a really problematic situation where I felt limited. I felt like I can do this in my own way. I should be doing this on my own, and why am I not doing that? And the big conclusion that I always came to was basically that I had fears of stepping outside, because one of the big benefits of this was that I was standing behind people. I was the programmer of software. I was the editor of videos for someone else. I was the person doing all the technical things. I wasn't in front of the camera. I wasn't the visible face of the project. And that was the big struggle that I felt throughout those projects, that I feared something that limited my ability to actually do what I wanted to be doing. And now I already have been making videos on this channel for multiple years at this point, and still I am struggling with exactly the same problem over and over again. But now I'm actually doing it for myself. I'm actually building this into my own future. I'm actually standing in front of the camera. I am basically working as the only person in this project, so I cannot really make anyone else responsible for when this does not work out. So here's my inspiration for you. If you have any kind of ideas, and maybe even work with someone else together already, but you feel limited, you feel like it's not going forward the same way you would like it to do, and stuff like that, if you have a sense that you might be able to do it better or quicker if you actually took the reins into your own hand and went out into the world with your own idea, and just by actually taking action, investing into yourself rather than some construct that may or may not be helping you. And of course, there is a place for other people to be together in a team, and if the inspiration's great and the working together functions, it can be really incredible. But at least in my own experience, I had the conclusion that over and over again, I should have been doing these things on my own. I should have focused on my own projects, my own ideas, my own inspiration to actually push something forward. So like I said, step outside of your comfort zone. Do what you feel called toward. Do it by yourself. maybe you don't have someone else to support you, do it anyways, and just step up and actually break the chains that are holding you back, because at the end of the day, that is the moment where you can make yourself responsible, where you are the only person that is responsible, where you cannot blame anyone else, and it is just that. And it's quite interesting that I'm coming up with this topic for today again, because I recently saw a video from Mel Robbins, who did a TED Talk a couple of years ago, and she talked about this idea that at some point in your life you have to parent yourself. There's no one coming to save you. There's no one coming to protect you. There's no one coming to tell you not to do certain things or to get off the couch and do something. And that's exactly the same situation that we have here. If you are going into some kind of a shared responsibility situation where you have a team or you have a co-founder for your idea in your startup, you might actually end up parenting each other, and that might not actually turn out that well, because most of the time you're grown adults, and who are you to tell the other person what to do and what not to do? And everybody has their own ideas. So sometimes I found for myself, it's easier to step back, take all the responsibility to myself, parent myself, and make myself do these videos, make myself do the classes on Skillshare, make myself get out and find new clients or create a new podcast and stuff like that. And then be responsible for when it works out, but also be responsible for when it does not work out. So like I said, step out of your comfort zone, do what you have to do, maybe even by yourself, and it's all going to be much easier in a sense to be responsible for your own success, for your own ideas, and be able to create your vision instead of having to find compromises where you might not want to do certain things the way the other person wants, and the same way around. Now, please feel free to share all of your ideas regarding this or anything else in the comments below, or contact me through my website. And with all of that being said, I hope you have an incredible day and go out there, do something, make your own vision happen. And I will see you in another video soon. Ciao, ciao.